absolutely love the song Looking for Clues by Robert Palmer.
It's fun.
It's one of my favorite songs from the 80s, just in general. So I found this album at RPM, and I haven't listened to all the other ones on there, but I like Robert Palmer. He's cool. So now I've got an album with Looking for Clues on it. Yay.
This next one is another one Heidi got me through Whatnot. I usually, I'm a huge fan of The Who. They're my band. Is like my first love. Oh, right up there with the Kinks and everything. I usually don't go for these 1990s, 2000, early 2000s solo projects. Just seemed like, one of the guys had to make money. But this should be good. This is The Who's Tommy, orchestral with Roger Daltrey. And I like it. It's interesting because they don't skip over any of the songs. Some of these projects, and even The Who, when they did Tommy Live, they never included certain songs like, especially Welcome or Sensation or anything. It's produced by Roger Daltrey. This is from 2019 on Polydor. So I think this might be pretty cool to listen to. I really like the early 70s London Symphony Orchestra, which I should play for you because there's all the guest stars you can pick out. But this should be fun, cool to listen to, and a neat addition to the collection.
Another one I picked up at RPM. This is the Beatles Jazz, a jazz tribute to the Beatles. It's got artists like Gene Chandler, Jimmy Scott. I haven't listened to it yet, but I guess they've done kind of a series of jazz records. They have the Rolling Stones in jazz. Isn't there Black Sabbath in jazz?
There's
Sabbath jazz?
No,
it might not be in this series, but it's
no,
similar.
It's called Jazz Sabbath.
Jazz Sabbath.
And it's really fun, and the songs really adapt themselves to jazz well. And the whole joke on the cover is that Jazz Sabbath existed first, and their record wasn't released, and Black Sabbath themselves stole all the songs.
It's awesome.
Actually, I really want to get it. We got it at the station that played it.
Yeah, we should look for that.
This is another one Heidi won in one of the giveaways.
There was one night I won twice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I win again, I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket.
I don't think we would have went out and bought this, but it might be good. I figured, why the hell not? This is his last album before he passed away.
It's like
and
gold
it could
vinyl.
Be rather good. Glenn Campbell's Adios, his farewell studio album, covers George Jones' She Thinks I Still Care, Dylan's Don't Think Twice,
Willie
It's
Nelson's
All Right.
on there.
He does Funny How Time Slips Away with Willie Nelson. Fred Neil's Everybody's Talking. So
like
it might be a nice, pleasant, kind of melancholy, sad record. Why the hell not?
Yeah. It was a free giveaway. Why not? Another one that I was super happy to get from RPM, because I looked in the section for Jonathan Richman and I had to look way in the back. I don't know, sometimes their filing is a little bit off. This is Jonathan Richman, The Modern Lovers. I really enjoy his writing. The more I hear it, the more I love it. He's got some really quirky, fun lyrics. Some of my favorites that I know, Back in the USA is fun. Abominable Snowman in the Market. It's just, I love the quirky songwriting. And of course, I have some other records. I think I have a Jonathan Richman kind of best of thing. I just love songs like Ice Cream Man and Parties in the USA. It makes me think of that horrible, who did this, one of those young girls? Miley Cyrus or something. Like, no, why did you do that? But yeah, I love Jonathan Richman. This is such a cool album. It's a music on vinyl too, so if that means anything to anybody, I just like it.
This is another one Heidi got for me through Whatnot. Might have been a free giveaway.
No,
this
I paid for that one, but it was a discount, I think.
Yeah, but we mentioned before, we're big fans of 60s spy stuff. Maybe kind of tired of this particular spy, but it was cheap and it's kind of cool. This is a reissue of the Dr. No soundtrack. Originally on United Artists, this is on Capitol. It's not on any color vinyl, but it's 180 gram audiophile edition. Originally out in 1963. This was reissued, I think, in 2013. The first Bond film, probably one of the best. Well, they're all good. They kind of get silly in the 70s. But this is fun because all that Jamaica jazz and Jamaican rock. It's Byron Lee and the Dragonaires are the Jamaican band on here. So this will be fun. We're gonna play this sneak tracks from this in on our radio show and just play it around the house. Cool artwork on the back there. So I don't know what the decision was to reissue this. Maybe it was the 50th. No, it wouldn't have been the 50th anniversary of this because the film was out in '62. But very cool.
This is a band that I enjoy. Whoa.
I'm at the, I had an itch.
This is a band that I enjoy here and there, the Specials. This is a 2019 release called Encore. I guess maybe like a reunion album. But what struck me about this one that made me want to get it is that they do a cover of the Equals' Black Skin Blue Eye Boys to start. So I haven't listened to this yet, but I'm really looking forward to it because I love the Equals. I enjoy the Specials. I'm sure the Specials were probably influenced by the Equals for sure. So Specials, Encore.
This next one I believe has been reissued recently. And some collectors are losing their collective minds over it. Like, oh, you gotta get this 180 gram.
They actually
wonderful,
had a
perfect
pressing of
new
that
one. Oh, you're never gonna find it anywhere. I paid $4 for an original Frank Sinatra Watertown on reprise, gatefold. It's in rather nice shape, very good shape, in fact, and still has its poster inside.
That's cool.
This is the infamous record where he decided he had heard the Four Seasons album, Genuine Imitation Life Gazette, and thought it was like the greatest thing he had ever heard before. So he got the people behind the Four Seasons record to write him this record, or to produce it, because most of the lyrics on here, I think, are written by Jake Holmes, the American folk singer who actually wrote Dazed and Confused that Jimmy Page basically stole from. But Jake Holmes never really sued him because Jake Holmes wrote the most simplest, most popular commercial jingle in the world, "Be all that you can be." So he never had to work again. I think he did eventually take him to court. There's now songwriting credits say Jimmy Page inspired by Jake Holmes. But this should be fun. I'm familiar with some of this record because I know I've listened to it when we had it. We had copies at our store. But I saw this with the poster, $4, really clean. And as I'm getting older, I appreciate Frank Sinatra more. I mean, he's a Jersey boy from Hoboken, and I just like the whole Las Vegas thing. But it's just such a left turn in his career. It's going to be interesting to listen to. Frank Sinatra, Watertown on reprise. What was this? 1968, I believe.
The Decemberists. This is a band that I've heard a couple songs from and I enjoyed. And while I was watching these auctions, I saw this album kept coming up over and over again. They had quite a few copies of it. And I went on a streaming service and listened to some of it, and I really enjoyed it. So I just, one night it came up, and I just snapped this copy up. This is their seems like everything that they have at this BC Vinyl is from 2018 or 2019. This is from 2018. This is their album, I'll Be Your Girl. Haven't opened it up yet, but it looks like a gatefold. Kind of cool art on this one. The Decemberists.
Didn't they have a song in Mad Men?
They did, that Infantata or something like that.
Another one out of the cheap bin. This is Mott. Used to be called Mott the Hoople. This is one of their last records. Might be their last one or second to last one. This is after Ian Hunter left and Mick Ronson was in there for a little bit and he's gone. They're replaced by two guys who were kind of not known to everybody. The only originals left are Overend Watts on bass and Dale Griffin on drums. And I see this. Dale Griffin.
Wasn't that the guy on
Trains, Planes, and Automobiles?
I thought it was like, you remember that cartoon with Hank Hill, King of the Hill?
Yeah.
Isn't there somebody in that cartoon named Dale Griffin?
Yeah, that's right. But the lead
that's like a weird sudden.
The lead guitarist here, Ray Major, I think he was playing with Jim McCarty's Yardbirds recently, but he passed away. Don't know much about this record. It gets fair to middling reviews on AllMusic and whatnot. But I'm interested to see if it what it sounds like, if it's decent British rock and roll, and if it compares to the other Mott the Hoople records. This is from 1975, yeah.
I was super happy to find this because they got a big series of George Harrison records. I don't know if they still have any available, but I was so happy to see this because I really loved Any Road when it came out. This is George Harrison's final album, Brainwashed. Here is the track listing. But I was really happy to get this. Loved Any Road. Is Any Road even on here?
Mm-hmm.
For a second, I had a brain fart. I was like, I didn't see it. But yeah, this is, again, they must have in 2019 re-released a lot of George Harrison albums. So, but they all have this Made in Germany sticker on there too.
Another one, last one from the cheap bins. This is the Hollies, Romani from 1972. Alan Clark had just left the band, and he was replaced by this Swedish gentleman. How do you pronounce his name? Mikael Riffkors. I don't know the backstory of how they found him. Maybe they played a show in Sweden and he was in an opening band. But I know I've read he didn't speak English well, so sometimes there were communication problems. What's interesting, I like the cover because the previous album, Distant Light, is basically the same picture but in a springtime. And this is winter. This was a mere $3 out of the cheap bins. Original Epic inner sleeve with news about other bands. Epic yellow label. I haven't spun this yet. I don't know anything about what's on. No hits. Oh, Magic Woman Touch is the most popular song. Yeah, but this is from 72. It's funny, the Hollies, I don't know. I always thinking I'm like put the Turtles and the Hollies in the same thing. They're a self-contained band, but they used outside songwriters and had big hits. But they were still touring, coming to America at this time, and I just wonder if they were viewed as just like a singles band. They're kind of on the fence there. It's like, how did they categorize them then? Still British Invasion?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Continuing on with just grabbing anything George Harrison, I got a copy of Living in the Material World, which was really cool. This is a gatefold. I haven't even opened it yet, but I mean, it's the 180 gram heavyweight vinyl. Just a beautiful copy of it. So of course I had to get this. Just had to.
This isn't a recent purchase. I forgot I was in the pile. In fact, the next one too. Like I said, we were doing Whatnot auctions too, and I pulled out 2 records. Like, oh, I kind of want to keep them for myself. I forgot they were in there. But this is a Red Fox comedy album called Both Sides of Red Fox. Count them. And I pulled it out because I like Red Fox. I like comedy records, and this is on that Loma label, which was like Warner Brothers' idea, attempt at being like a West Coast soul label, like a competitor to Motown. So they had a lot of their African American artists on there, including Red. Each side is just one long track of all his jokes and things. But there's Fred Sanford, younger. So.
And then, of course, George Harrison related, but I do love the Traveling Wilburys. So when this came up for auction, I had to grab one. This is the Traveling Wilburys 30th anniversary picture disc. Yeah, it has the, end of the line, Handle with Care. So it's their Traveling Wilburys, their first record. I like how they have a third record, but there's no 2, which I think they did on purpose, which is just, it figures. Classic album, just really fun for a picture disc. Of course, another one. Of course I had to get it. Of course.
This is another one I pulled out of our boxes downstairs because I like truck driving music. Dick Curlis, Hard Traveling Man on Capitol from, I'm assuming, 69 or 70 because it's on that cool green Capitol Target label I like. It was only used for just a little bit. Has a lot of cool, of course, train and truck songs on here. I miss a lot of trains. Drag 'em off the interstate, Sock It to 'em, JP Blues, Tombstone Every Mile, Truck Stop, 6 Days on the Road. So this came out of the record show stuff and came back upstairs into the collection.
More George Harrison. The Wonderwall music album this time, the soundtrack to that weird movie he made in 69?
8.
8, somewhere around there. back. It's just a brick wall. I remember rumors long ago that Peter Tork is on this album somewhere because he was with George and like played on some stuff, but it didn't make the record. So that's a debunked.
There's pictures of George showing and Pete playing the banjo in the studio, but no one's really sure that
it
it's on
didn't make
the
the
soundtrack.
album evidently, like officially. So anyway, another one to add to my George collection.
Next up, Heidi got for me on Whatnot. As you've seen in our previous video, I do have a reissue of this from the late 80s online, but this is cool to have. This is a newer reissue of the Count Five's one and only album, Psychotic Reaction, originally on double shot. This is from Craft Recordings, much heavier sleeve, probably much better vinyl than that old line one. Even though I have all their stuff on CD, I think it's cool to have another one. And plus, you know, we're getting this stuff for a bargain, so why not? 2018, this was reissued. Of course, you all know Psychotic Reaction, the title track. It's kind of a Yardbirds I'm a Man copy, but it's still great. The two Who covers on here, they do My Generation and Out in the Street. They kind of pale in comparison to the Who. There's some other good originals. We love 60s Garage. You know, it was cheap. Why not get it?
Did also pick up some records at our local, one of our local bookstores, Books A Million. I didn't realize they had records, and then John's like, hey, they have records there. We should go check it out.
We should check out FYE.
True. This is true. They're open tomorrow. Say what you want. Make fun of me. I don't care. I like Weezer. And people are like, oh, why did they do an album like that? Whatever. It's fun. One of the things I love about Weezer is that they are fun. And they definitely do fun covers. This is an entire album of covers. They do Toto's Africa. They do Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. Take on Me. Happy Together. Paranoid. Mr. Blue Sky. A hilarious version of TLC's No Scrubs. Billie Jean and Stand By Me. This is just pure fun. And if you don't like fun, then I feel sorry for you. But I like Weezer.
This next one, I was happy Heidi got this for me. I almost bought an original because it was reasonably priced at our local store, but I just didn't get it. And it was also put out on CD several years ago, cheap. I just never got it, but this is really cool for me to have on LP. This is the 1969 compilation Mother Mania of the Mothers of Invention. This is unique because it has some different edits of some songs, like single edits, exclusive mixes. I've been a fan. I'm a big fan of Frank and the Mothers. Wouldn't say, I have a ton of Zappa stuff.
I like that Joe's Garage song we heard today.
Yeah, but I'm not like, it's hard to say. I'm not like, I don't have my head up my ass about them, I think. You know.
That's what you think. No.
My friends back home, my friends Corey Shine and Joe King, what we loved about the Mothers and what a prop here, they look like a bunch of goddamn freaks and bikers, but they're all virtuosos on their instruments and can play Frank's complicated music.
They're amazingly talented.
Until his music got more complicated, and the original Mothers broke up for a lot of different reasons. The one reason I heard they broke up was they were playing a festival, and Frank saw either Count Basie or Duke Ellington backstage begging the promoter for a $10 advance, and Frank was like, God, if a legend like him has to beg for money and I'm trying to keep this 10-person band on the road, I'm done. And he wanted to do different things, and he says he was writing music that was a little more complicated that some of the guys could play. Ian Underwood was the only one that could handle it. I can't wait to break this open and listen to it. This picture on the back is from the infamous concert in Berlin, 1968, which he wrote the instrumentals Holiday in Berlin about. They were playing a concert, and 1968 was the height of like student riots, and Frank was like, we can't, these kids expected Frank and the Mothers to lead them like in a riot or a revolution. He's like, no, we just came here to play music. And they started throwing, I don't know where they came from at a concert, started throwing pears at him. And Frank said they weren't like rotten, soft pears. He was like hard, like baseballs. And there's black and white film of this on a Zappa videotape I have called The True Story of 200 Motels, or it might be on the Uncle Meat videotape, where some student comes up on stage and is arguing with him, and Frank is like, no, and you can see his manager Herbie Cohen behind the amps just like waiting to like come out and beat him up. But I think that's what the whole German printing on the back here is. But this is very good. This originally came out in '69. This is from 2019. I can't wait to crack it
I think
open.
people who don't know anything about Frank Zappa probably tend to underestimate him, but he is an extremely intelligent person. I mean, he can hold his own in front of, you know, congressional hearing and stuff like that. I mean, I would want to get in an argument with him, let me tell you.
My favorite thing he ever said was, you know, during the whole PMRC thing, and he was on CNN's Counterpoint or whatever, and he said he watched, of course, all that stuff. He goes, you know, if you're on one of those shows and a guy is told, listen, you're an intelligent man, they've just recently, right there, has been told us how stupid they are.
Yeah. Also at Books A Million, I picked this up. I had seen it online and I thought it was kind of interesting. This is called Pinup Girls, Not Easy to Get. And it has songs by, you know, cool women from back in the day. It's got, let's see, Doris Day, April Stevens, Debbie Reynolds, Ginger Rogers, Connie Stevens, Peggy Lee, Sophia Loren, Mae West. John actually has a Mae West record that we'll get to eventually in the collection that's pretty hilarious. Jane Mansfield, Mitzi Gaynor, Angela Lansbury. I just thought it was interesting enough to give it a try. There's actually a couple different volumes of this record series, and it's on this really neat kind of bright pink vinyl. So this is my second pickup from Books A Million.